wardrobe had an entire floor of El Miglior's tower dedicated to her Ryan, and the panda waited inside an elevator as slowly climbed toward their destination. Through a glass window they saw the sun illuminate New Rome, with Ryan glancing at Rust Town while his sidekick sang a Spider-Man cartoon tune to himself. It was May 10th, and Psyshock would soon attack the orphanage. Ryan's cell phone buzzed to the tune of "I Got You Babe." Pulling him from his thoughts, he answered the unknown caller saying, "Quick save deliveries. Yes, we will deliver your mail no matter how many corpses it takes." Fortuna's furious voice responded on the other end, accusing him of violating the natural order and claiming that everything that could go well for her in this universe did. Ryan asked how she got his number, and she admitted to typing it at random. She ranted about her power and the men who adored her, but Ryan hung up. The panda asked who it was, and Ryan dismissed the caller as a loony fan. Even as Lucky Girl kept trying to reach him, the panda shared a story about Fan who tried to kidnap him because she loved his fur, but he had to run. Ryan asked if he could eat her, and the panda explained that he could only eat bamboo in panda form, and that meat made him want to vomit. Ryan reflected on the unfairness of the world, comparing Nidhogg, who became kilometers long near invulnerable serpent after drinking a green elixir, to Timmy, who drank the same potion but became something else entirely. The panda asked why Ryan was looking at him like that, and Ryan sighed, placing a hand on the animal's shoulder, promising to always support him no matter what. The panda seemed touched and thanked him. The elevator finally reached wardrobe's floor, and the duo stepped inside. Ryan expected something luxurious, but found an opulent hall with expensive rugs, refined leather chairs, and walls covered with artistic designs like an art gallery. Fashion and girly magazines were piled on fancy wooden tables. Wardrobe called them from another room, and they followed her voice past shooting studios filled with darkrooms, props, and photography equipment. They arrived at a lobby whose walls were covered with thousands of model pictures and cloth designs. Wardrobe stood facing Felix the Atom Cat, who sat sinking in his chair, refusing to wear cat latex suit. Wardrobe argued that the suit would be form-fitting and wouldn't restrict his movements in the fight, but Felix pouted, insisting his current outfit was good enough. Ryan suggested a Valentino suit with cat-themed tie, but noted it might already be taken. He introduced himself and the panda to Felix, who responded gruffly. Wardrobe introduced herself as Yukiko, or Yuki for short. Smiling brightly, the panda muttered that she was cute before trying to sound dignified and greeted her. Felix asked if they were new guys who should be at the newbie seminar, and Ryan retorted, questioning if Felix himself should be there. Felix sighed, complaining about wasting time watching corporate videos instead of doing hero work. Wardrobe scolded Felix's white gymnast clothes as crime against humanity and urged him to follow Quicksave's example, praising Ryan's perfect color nuance and fancy noir trench coat as symbols of something greater. Ryan thanked her, glad to meet someone civilized in the savage wilderness. Felix remained unconvinced, preferring practical over fancy, prompting Ryan to joke, which made Wardrobe chuckle and Felix roll his eyes. Ryan said he was told Wardrobe would be his fashion goddess, but wasn't ready to believe it yet. Wardrobe assured him she had his costume covered, sketching on a blank sheet. She considered a Valentino-style suit with artificial fibers, but decided on a better material that fit him. When Ryan asked if it was cashmere, she confirmed, describing a dark purple suit with fancy black turtleneck underneath and a bowler hat. Ryan hesitated, calling the bowler hat too extreme and violent, but Wardrobe said she found a solution. She revealed the sketch to Ryan, the panda, and Felix. Instead of corporate tie, wool scarf, light violet, almost pinkish, with tiny clock symbols everywhere. The costume was perfect blend of modern fashion and Victorian style dandiness, with the pinkish scarf replacing the tie, a stroke of genius that amazed Ryan. Ryan whispered that it was wonderful, facing it like a divine revelation. Wardrobe explained that the scarf would restrain the bowler hat's energy, symbolizing the conflict between Ryan's violent spirit and society's rules, representing his duty to the law versus his wild pursuit of justice. Ryan asked about his bipolarity, and wardrobe said they would paint his metal mask silver and black to represent light and darkness coexisting without mixing. Ryan declared himself converted, calling hers the one true faith. Felix complained about there being two of them now, claiming they were doomed. The panda asked if wardrobe could make costume worthy of his pure awesomeness. Wardrobe enthusiastically said yes, proposing leaving him shirtless with two bullet bandoliers across his chest. The panda deflated, saying he didn't know how to shoot. Ryan explained it was about looking cool, not skill. Wardrobe agreed, sketching a green beret, black shorts that would adjust to his transformation, and sunglasses, dubbing him Rambo Panda, the last of his kind, fighting an eternal war for the future. She showed the sketch, and even Ryan admitted it looked like one manly Chinese bear. He remembered how Mortimer had dared kill this gift to mankind and felt sorrow. Ryan told Wardrobe she was national treasure that must be protected, and swore she would be. Wardrobe smiled brightly and said she heard that all the time. The panda admired the costume, mesmerized, and said he would finally impress the girls. He asked Wardrobe about a panda mobile, to which she replied that the kids' marketing department was already working on it. Wardrobe confirmed that once Ryan validated the costumes, she could make the designs a reality within the hour. Ryan enthusiastically agreed and insisted they patrol Rust Town afterward. Both the panda and Adam Cat questioned the idea of patrolling, especially since they hadn't finished training or attended the seminar. Ryan argued that confronting evil was the real training and that one must face it instead of waiting. The panda pledged his support to Ryan, who patted him on the back before turning to Felix. Ryan invited Felix to join them despite Felix's skepticism and discomfort with Ryan's close approach. Ryan warned Felix about corporate exploitation and brainwashing, which Felix interrupted, acknowledging Ryan's point. Despite his erratic behavior, Wardrobe asked to join as well, and Adam Cat questioned whether she could leave her atelier without authorization. Wardrobe explained she would officially join the Pro League next week and already had a field license, making this her last junior league adventure. Ryan declared it was time to head to the Quick Save mobile. Hours later, Ryan drove through Rust Town in his new costume with Wardrobe beside him and Adam Cat and the panda in the back seat. Adam Cat commented on the town's ruin and decay, with even the panda appearing intimidated. Wardrobe admitted understanding why juniors were not allowed to patrol there. Ryan asked Wardrobe if she could change into any persona that wasn't copyrighted, fictional or not, and whispered a dangerous name into her ear. Wardrobe confirmed she could wear her apocalypse suit, but warned it was too dangerous unless all was lost, as could destroy the world if worn too long. Felix asked if she could dress like God, which Wardrobe said was somewhat possible but unstable due to varying perceptions of God. She explained that the more defined a persona, the better she mastered it, but she risked becoming the persona if she wore too long. Ryan asked if dressing like Augustus meant thinking like him, and Felix warned Ryan he'd probably become a colossal asshole. Wardrobe described becoming cold and unfeeling when adopting Augustus's persona. Felix inquired about Augustus's invulnerability, and Wardrobe explained she copied the idea people had of characters, not their actual powers, making her insight unreliable. Ryan considered the possibility of testing the limits of his own power through Wardrobe's cosplay. The panda asked if she could cosplay as him, but Ryan explained the panda was the last of his kind. Wardrobe said she couldn't cosplay him because he wasn't famous enough. Ryan asked about himself or cancel the power canceller, but Wardrobe said she could only copy personas ingrained in mankind's collective consciousness and had no idea who cancel was. Adam Cat checked his phone, his mood darkening. Wardrobe asked what was wrong, and Felix revealed it was about his sister and ex-girlfriend Livia. Ryan asked how he knew her, and Felix confirmed it was Livia. The panda showed interest, asking if Felix still loved her, but Felix said they were over and he couldn't compromise anymore after what he'd seen. Ryan sympathized, recalling his own difficult past. Ryan's phone buzzed with multiple messages from Lucky Girl and one from an unknown sender. He didn't check the messages, but read the unknown text. The orange is in the hen house. Startled, Ryan slammed on the brakes, causing everyone to react. From the back seat, the panda complained that Ryan shouldn't text while driving. Ryan apologized and quickly typed a reply to the unknown sender before steering the car back toward the orphanage, his mind racing with questions. He sent only one message where and when. Arriving near the entrance, Ryan pointed out Rust Town's famous orphanage, where the most dangerous creatures in the world were raised in. The wild human children wardrobe chuckled at the exaggeration as she looked through the window, noticing Len waiting with Sarah and another boy, the kids playing with a Labrador. Unlike in the previous loop, the genius had not donned her diving armor, instead wearing brown suit and carrying a water rifle. Ryan argued that these creatures were underestimated, mentioning their habit of eating baby candies and listening to loud music at night. Adam Cat asked why they were there, and Ryan explained that according to his intel, the Meta Gang planned to target the orphanage today to abduct the residents unless they intervened. Wardrobe's face turned pale at the thought of an attack on children, and Felix expressed grim acceptance. The panda enthusiastically promised to save the children and break the villains like bamboo. Ryan teased the panda about his puns as the group exited the car, instantly drawing the children's attention. Little Sarah's eyes widened upon recognizing Wardrobe, who, although less famous than Wyvern, had her fans. Several children rushed out, swarming the heroes and mostly asking Wardrobe for autographs. The panda looked jealous of Wardrobe's fame. Ryan introduced Len, alias Underdiver, as a friend to the group. Adam Cat questioned Len's criminal past and the circumstances of her release, implying corporate involvement. Len responded harshly, blaming the corporate overlords for the state of Rust Town. Felix admitted he was embarrassed but confirmed Len was taking care of the place. After finishing her autographs, Wardrobe scolded Ryan for letting Len dress as she did, criticizing Len's costume as hideous and ill-fitting. She touched Len's outfit and figure, lamenting the wasted potential and suggesting silver and blue scales instead. Len was clearly uncomfortable with the tension. Little Sarah asked the panda about his power, and he transformed into a bear, delighting the children who climbed on him and used his belly as a trampoline. Felix declined to transform into a cat despite Sarah's teasing. Ryan found the scene amusing but remained distracted by the message. The orange is in the henhouse. He recognized it as a phrase he had used jokingly to describe his power but had not used in this loop. The message suggested someone remembered him, though he cautioned against raising his hopes. He considered who could have sent it, Livia, Jasmine, or Shroud, focusing on Livia, who had seemed to recognize his name and might have a second power, allowing her to retain memories between loops. Ryan hesitated to ask Len for confirmation, fearing Felix might suspect a mole and jeopardize their mission. Wardrobe's autograph session distracted her long enough for Len to slip away. Len whispered to Ryan, asking if he had a plan. Ryan admitted his idea to deal with Psyshock had failed, and that they would have to rely on Len's plan, which she had never tried before. She raised her water gun, ready to use her bubble prison, which had worked against reload in a previous loop. Ryan worried about the possibility of Psyshock having an automatic suicide trigger to avoid capture, recalling his own failed attempts to balance such devices. Suddenly Ryan spotted Psyshock's black rusted minibus approaching the orphanage, followed by a second vehicle. The Metagang had brought reinforcements. He suspected the land had noticed the large group of genomes around the orphanage without Ghoul as a distraction. He hoped Adam would keep his heavy hitters in reserve to protect the junkyard rather than send them all here. Ryan dreaded another fight with Acid Rain, recalling she had killed Felix the cat the first time they met. Felix tensed and identified the approaching vehicles as the Meta Gang. Len ordered the children to go inside immediately, hide in the basement, and not come out until instructed. Little Sarah protested, but Len firmly insisted, raising her water gun to emphasize the command. Wardrobe reassured the children with a wink, telling them heroes always win. The children fled into the orphanage while the other genomes prepared for battle. Ryan instructed his team to let him handle the talking until the fighting began. Stealthily retrieving a device from the back of his Plymouth Fury and hiding it inside his suit, he also equipped the Fisty brothers ready to confront Psyshock personally. He urged everyone to remain calm no matter what they heard. The panda nervously acknowledged Ryan's command, though his lack of experience was evident. Adam cat-eyed Ryan's suit curiously and asked if it was some ultimate weapon. Ryan confirmed it was a wiretap preparing for the meta-gang's arrival. Psyshock exited his car, first followed by Mongrel and Mosquito. Another minibus stopped nearby, releasing two more psychos, a reptilian humanoid and a bipedal jaguar named Rakshasa, who could summon gremlins. Ryan recognized them from his suicide run. He had run over the lizard en route to the bunker. The two groups appeared evenly matched. Psyshock addressed Ryan and Len with a possessive tone, calling it quite the reunion. Mosquito cracked his knuckles, announcing it was blood harvest time. Psyshock added that although they had come only for the children in the shelter, it was a good day indeed. Ryan lied, claiming Don Hector was displeased with Psyshock's actions and warning him not to proceed. Psyshock flinched. The mentioned signaling Ryan's bluff had hit its mark. Psyshock denied knowing any Hector, but Ryan insisted they would cut off the supply if results were not delivered soon, revealing knowledge of crates and drones supposedly hidden in the bunker. Psyshock was taken aback, realizing Ryan had information he should not possess. Psyshock asked why they were there, glancing at Ryan's tense team while Adam cat radiated cold rage. Ryan explained that their boss worried Psyshock would go off the leash and that they might need to teach him a lesson. Threatening subtly, the meta-gang's second in command met Ryan's gaze, tension mounting as both groups prepared for a fight. Ryan stood firm, confident in his bluff. Psyshock relented and suggested moving to a spot far from their groups to discuss matters. Ryan nodded to his team, hoping they could remain silent until escalation was inevitable. At the edge of the orphanage's courtyard, Psyshock demanded an explanation, noting Mr. Manada had instructed Adam and him not to reveal his involvement or use usual channels. Ryan responded that someone had talked and the old channels were no longer secure. Psyshock denied involvement in any leak, asserting their careful security and memory alterations to minimize risks. He accused the leak of coming from Ryan's side. Ryan feigned skepticism and noted the meta gang had approached Dynami's first. Ryan lied that his team would keep quiet despite disliking memory checks and mocked the reason for Psyshock's visit to orphanages, sarcastically suggesting the boss wanted chicken nuggets for dinner. Psyshock claimed they intended to use the children as soldiers against the Augusti, asserting progress in pushing the Augusti out of the district and targeting their suppliers. Ryan scoffed, asking where the material the killer 7 Pluto Neptune were, accusing Psyshock of underperforming and warning that underperforming divisions get downsized. Ryan suspected Adam had learned of the bunker and come to Rust Town to unearth it quietly, while Psyshock's leader had secured a knockoff elixir supply from Hector Manada to pacify addicts, promising to target the Augusti on Dynami's behalf without intending to deliver. The Psycho faction planned to overthrow their employers from the start. Psyshock argued they lacked numbers to move recklessly and needed more information before making a strategic move, hoping to protect the knockoff connection. Ryan gave them 3 days to deliver results, repeating the deadline boldly despite Psyshock's protest that it was too short. Ryan warned the deal would be off if results were not delivered. Psyshock revealed he had made considerable progress on another project and suggested that if Mr. Manada extended the period he could demonstrate it. Ryan hesitated about the second project, but inferred its nature from elements gathered in previous loops. The courier asked if it was the brain scan, hoping to be correct. Psyshock confirmed that although the technology was primitive, it was compatible with his power, allowing him to copy a mind from one brain to another as long as they were closely related. Ryan had suspected this, recalling how the Dynamis/Meta alliance quickly collapsed in the previous loop after Psyshock's death. The Meta's failures against the Augusti and the brain manipulators' demise likely led Hector Manada to scrap the alliance and cover his tracks. Psyshock explained that clones were ideal, but close relatives such as siblings, children, or even genomes could work. Ryan cautioned him about the implications conditions, ensuring Enrique would hear of this suggestion. Psyshock clarified it was merely an option if the employer was willing to entertain it. Having acquired all the information he needed, Ryan looked to the skies expecting Vulcan to arrive and turn the situation into a three-way confrontation. He wondered if Jasmine had changed her mind due to the higher number of genomes involved, but he felt confident relying on someone else. Ryan then addressed an empty spot, asking if that was enough for Mr. Windshield. Psyshock froze until a voice answered affirmatively from nowhere. Ryan glanced back at Psyshock, who began realizing he had been tricked. Ryan reminded Psyshock of promise from their last meeting and declared that quick save always delivers. Without warning, Ryan punched Psyshock in the jaw, shattering all nearby windows into glass shards. Immediately after the punch, Shroud revealed his presence and unleashed glass shards in all directions, plunging the area into chaotic melee as the shelter's animals howled. Shorty fired her water rifle at Psyshock, encasing him in a 3-meter-wide bubble of liquid that trapped the malevolent telepath. Rakshasa summoned a dozen gremlins. Atom Cat tried to